Wake up, Shinigami. You're chugging Bleach with the only podcast that unlocks your bunkai.
Welcome to Chugging Bleach, the only anime review podcast on our network which goes through all of Bleach.
There we go.
Have to be very specific about this.
Yeah, our legal team's been hounding our asses for a while.
We're in trouble.
With me, as always, we have our usual host, Dan Video Games.
Actually, I'm going to add one more word at the beginning of my last name, and now it's a really cool bunkai.
Nice. Mr. Field from Mr. Field's Royal Ride.
My release command is slightly different now for no reason.
And KZ Excellent.
I won't care about this arc I'm in until I do.
Thank you so much for being here with me, guys. As we go through
Of course!
the Bount arc. We are on episodes. Bount arc 2, yes. This is the beginning of the Infiltration Bount arc. For anyone confused, the other Bount arc is over. This is a totally new arc.
Yep.
Is it a good idea to involve Infiltration in this arc?
It's like when the Android Saga became the Cell Saga. This is the Cell Saga for the Bount arc.
Yeah, it's going to be so much better.
God.
But we cover episodes 94 through 98.
Yes.
Yes, 98.
That is true.
Yep.
We did that.
5 episodes, like always.
Watched it.
Like always.
We should do like 20 next time.
It was easy watching this compared to some of the things I've watched on Netflix recently.
Yes. It's also better than last time.
Yes.
I think better than we've had in a while on Bleach filler.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. Oh, no.
But before we spoil it, Phil, can you actually tell me how Patreon works?
You got any sick tips on how to get content? GigaBoots content and where to find it?
I'll be happy to tell you how Patreon works and the more limited purview to us. You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GBPodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to this and Mondo Cool, our 2 anime review podcasts, extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions when those shows force us to leave ideas on the cutting room floor, and a Patreon exclusive show, 1 per month, where you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and talk about. That's patreon.com/GBPodcasts. And if you don't have any money, you can always help us by spreading the word. And if you don't have any friends, you can get a part-time job at a convenience store, and you think you'll only work there 6 months and then move on, but then you'll work there for 20 more years.
Oh no.
And then even more crushing than that, you'll realize that you're being written by Kevin Smith, but at least you'll have money from working at the retail job to give us money at patreon.com/GBPodcast. Thank you.
That is the important part. The important part is that you have money to pay.
Yeah, it sucks to have
100%.
her stuck there for life. But
Hope you have one of the good love stories.
God, yeah, let's not be written by Kevin Smith.
I don't want to
anywhere,
roll the
please.
dice on my romantic relationship if it's exclusively limited to Kevin Smith films.
Oh, yeah.
It's dark path.
Don't
here.
like my odds.
So, Phil, what happened in these episodes?
So before I start, you know in the Phantom Menace where
Yeah.
the end of that movie is 4 different things happening concurrently, and they keep having to show you sections of it where nothing happens just to establish to the audience that scene still exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't bring that up for any particular reason. Let's get into these episodes.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, so last time the bomb went off in Serete, Hitsugeya and some other people are like at the scene, and they're having a really fucking stupid discussion about how spiteful the person who planted it must have been to circumvent all their fucking security and shit.
Yeah, it was really good because one of the specific lines here is, this plan was so well devised, they must have spent a long time thinking about it. And every time
It's smart, we promise.
Every time I read a line like that or hear a line like that in this Bleach filler, I'm like, I love these writers.
We're good. As long as we tell them we're good, we're good.
Yes, please interview us.
It's like if every character in a series went, Kariya is just so consistent.
We cut to Rukia, who's like getting the Japanese noble lady treatment and being tended to by all of House Kuchiki's servants after getting her shit fucking ruined by Yoshi, the no mommy powers Bount.
Yeah.
Oh, she has a name, right?
Yeah. Byakuya is watching, and then he goes to tell Ichigo and Orihime that, yeah, she's going to be fine.
But she will be bedding for the rest of the arc. He basically says that.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
She can't do anything.
I know, right?
She's in a better place now, in bed.
God, I wish that was me. Kuroto says some shit that doesn't matter. It's just like the mod souls are really rapidly becoming. We need 30 seconds.
Yes.
Ichigo says, I'm gonna go fight the Bouts. Byakuya, let's team up. And Byakuya says, no, I don't actually like you. Go home. This has nothing to do with you at all. Just leave.
You know, this seems consistent with Byakuya's character.
It does. And he's like, guess what, asshole? You're alive. You shouldn't be here.
You gave me the pass.
Yeah, well, I don't like him.
We cut to a slum and a gambling den in the slum, and I guess these are Ganju's guys. Have we ever seen these motherfuckers before?
Those two that are like
the two guys with designs.
I'm pretty sure those two are from the last season.
Oh, really?
Like they are actually his backup.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think they were shown in that very first episode. Ganju's introduced and then gone forever.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's like we got some pulls this time.
You better.
Kariya walks into the gambling den and is like, I'd like to gamble. And we get a hilarious scene where the den leader is like, so what do you want to bet? So Kariya just flips out a switchblade.
Yeah. Worth a note here, the den leader is literally Quentin Flynn doing his fucking Jack the Ripper voice from Metal Gear Rising.
Really? I didn't notice even.
Oh, no. He's got it off like 2 syllables.
I hope you're excited to get back into it.
He said 3 words, and I go, oh my God, it's him doing the fucking Raiden voice from Rising.
Yeah, that was rough.
What do you want here?
And then I said, like, dude. And then I went, what if Kariya sounded like that?
I was like, that multiple points. It would go up so much.
So a guy says he'll gamble with Kariya. So Kariya just wins because I guess he has superhuman luck also as a Bount.
I guess.
Yeah,
And
I don't know. They didn't really make that clear.
There's not the implication of him cheating.
I think that he's playing Hanafuda, so maybe he's just really good at that.
I mean,
I played it like twice in Soccer Wars, and I'm like, I don't understand how this works.
Right.
I get. I'm willing to bet that nobody under age 70 does.
Luckily, he's the oldest man alive.
Yes, luckily that is true. Christ.
Kariya wins and then goads the guy into attacking him and just basically tosses him into the wall like debris.
Yeah, no, it was really funny.
Koga shows up and is like, oh, God. Ichinose, the boss is high on crack again. Come help me manage him.
You're right.
Yes. This scene was insane.
Then everybody gets like Yakuza NPC brain disease.
Yes.
Yep.
Where it's like, or there's only 3 of them and 100 of us. We can take them even though they have. Yeah, they're real bad. Like these are like,
even though my face is melting.
these are like the animators are like, oh God, well, let's reference the background characters in like Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, none of them look like they're even from Bleach. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Ichinose, Kariya, and Koga just beat all their asses effortlessly. Kariya's like, I want to recruit you guys to help me destroy Soul Society. Why'd you beat the shit out of them then? I guess you had to establish dominance, but you beat up like 150 guys.
Because they wanted to prove they're cool like the bad dudes from the game Bad Dudes.
Then the boss of the gambling den is like, you guys must be those. And it cuts off because they weren't sure whether to say Bount, like the people knew that what they were called Bounts, or if they should say Ryoka.
Yeah.
So they just cut before they said anything.
Yeah, it was interesting that they cut off at that exact moment because they're like, how do we end the sentence? Oh, don't. Got it. You were those.
We show a bunch of jobber Soul Reapers searching for the Bount. Kenpachi's in his office and he's like, it's like, we're in Soul Society and the captains still aren't doing anything. Fuck off.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
I didn't even think Kenpachi had an office. This is news.
Yachiru's like, I guess you're not gonna go try to fight them because Ichinose is a cuck and you'd just be bored anyway, right? And Kenpachi's like, yeah, pretty much. Ichigo and Orihime were just wandering around for another 12 hours before they go back to Kukaku's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
They have another...
They stop at some random staircase, and it's like, where are you guys even at?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too.
It's like the Simpsons house where you can't actually work out the layout.
This is the secret stair room of the Kukaku house.
They have another one of those great filler discussions about how nothing in the plot makes sense.
Yes.
Yep, they sure do.
Chad shows up and still sounds really wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get more meaningless dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Then Kukaku's big muscle guys show up and call them outside, and there's like, Joe, check this shit out. And they do a crank really hard and open the hands of the big arm statues. And Ichigo's like, why did you want me to see that?
Best part of the filler arc, honestly.
Yeah, it's really up there.
I really appreciate as the shot changes to a side profile, the hands are now like 10 feet tall instead of absolutely enormous.
Yes, that does happen, and it's insane.
I was like, wait, what the hell? Chad, can you just reach the top of that?
Yes.
One moment. I'm touching the fingertip. Very cool.
Then they're like, look how cool it is. We opened the hands. And then Ganju's guys show up on boars and destroy the two arms. And they're like, guys, some guys showed up and just beat up everybody in the gambling den. And then Kukaku comes out and just starts wailing on everyone. Which resolves with Ichigo saying, I'm going to go check it out. And Ishida shows up and is like, I'm also going to go. And Ganju's like, I'll also go, even though realistically there's no reason for me to be going. We'll go tomorrow. And then Kukaku kicks him in the back of the head and says, go now.
Yeah.
He's like, call now.
But sis, I'm going to get lost. And he's like, go now.
Audience surrogate.
They're all going to ride boars. They have rhyming names. Some of the names are different between Japanese and English for no reason I can ascertain.
Yeah, I couldn't ascertain what the reason for changing those names was either.
Inky, Blinky, Pinky, Clyde.
Yeah, pretty much. Ichigo's like, I don't want to fucking ride a boar, so he just leaves. He just runs off.
And then they were like, don't you realize how far away that is going to be, Ichigo? Jesus. And I'm like, he doesn't, and neither do I. Where are you? How far is this?
Yeah, like there's really no scope of anything here. Right. Ishida also...
Ichigo doesn't even have directions.
He's got flash stuff. Who cares?
He has Leland who can detect the bounce.
That's been so useful up to now.
Sometimes.
That's a good thing she can do that.
Ishida doesn't want to ride the boar either and starts coping that he's going to have to because he can't run away.
Yeah, they were standing there too long. Now they're stuck, I guess.
Yeah, that's how it works, I guess. They're stuck in a comedy routine, so that's how that works.
Yeah. Rukia wakes up and we see Byakuya walking down a hallway. That's it. That's that scene.
Oh, okay, cool.
We cut to Cone.
God, this scene was so like, why?
Cone is running a bit to no one.
Yes.
He sees like a tea house across the street and sees an entirely ordinary set of boobs and starts to like act the fool.
Yes.
He's like, wow, that completely generic design's making me act up. And he does like the generic Cone rambling with metaphors about tits bit.
I mean,
like,
Cone
look,
is
these
basically...
bouncy, pillowy marshmallow, softness valley, blah, 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 blah.
The Xenoblade Chronicles 2 girl just stepped out.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, she's so thick.
honk, slurp, slurp, awooga.
Specifically the giant furry one with W boobs.
We cut to Ganju and the Ganju crew riding the boar for 1 second before we cut away. I don't even remember what they talked about. I didn't even write it down because it was nothing.
One moment. I might be able to see it.
I think that it was them talking about there's another gang we're trying to meet up with out here. And this is like setting up for meeting them.
Ganju's like, don't talk on the boars, you'll bite your tongue off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kariya and Co are gathering the forces of like the slum district. There's another one of those scenes where nobody says anything that means anything. It's just like Kariya and Koga and Ichinose like vaguely babbling.
Yes, but they say some lines that are unreal, like, Kariya apparently, quote, hasn't had this much fun in years, and, quote, something was holding him back, but he's free now.
Yeah, it's so dire. It's that if we leave a pause between the first half of the sentence and the second, it becomes profound automatically.
Yes.
And also, there's that moment where he says, somebody interesting is about to arrive.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go fight them.
I have to go now. And I'm like, are you trying to avoid something interesting happening? Are you a writer surrogate? But no, that was not the case.
We cut back to the Ganju crew. They're lost immediately. They're lost in the fucking woods.
They've been driving in circles.
Then we cut back to Cone, who's being doted on by the girl with mildly large boobs. They draw them slightly bigger in this scene to explain why he's simping.
And he's like, oh, this tea's so delicious. And it's like, no, it isn't. God damn. I wonder how much he paid for that tea. It was like $10.
We cut back to Ganju, and they're babbling about being lost. Some of those really hideous filler designs walk by. Ganju's like, I'll take care of them. I'm the self-proclaimed Red Bullet of the Rukon District and the self-proclaimed fastest cashier in Karakura Town. And then he runs over them with the bull.
It was pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Byakuya is just wandering in the forest and runs into Kariya. Kariya knows every single thing that happened with Rukia fucking How.
I guess that he got a really good report from No Mommy Powers.
I fucking guess. Then they're gonna fight. That's the end of the episode. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers.
Golden.
Ichigo's there with Ganju in Kukaku's house and is like, man, your sister sure is fucking tough. And Ganju's like, yeah, I wish I could own her someday. So Kuroto turns into submissive waifu Kukaku and is like, yeah, you should really let her have it. And Ganju starts, but the real Kukaku is there frame one and shoots him out of the cannon. He doesn't even get to say a thing.
Yes.
Woman jump scare.
Man, my older sister's such a bully. Well, check this out, bro. Have you heard of deep fakes?
We can post this on Twitter and get her canceled.
Honestly, if 80s comedies kept rolling for 4 decades straight, we would be seeing that in theaters right now.
Yes.
It's like it's like one of those dirtbag comedies. Or it's like this guy must be canceled. That's the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, no. It has to have a nerd edge to it. I feel like that's another layer to it. Call it.
Episode 95.
Golden?
Not golden.
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
We get a 90-second long recap and then the last minute of the previous episode.
Yes.
What if you forgot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're watching week to week. You want as little new content as possible.
Kariya and Byakuya start to fight. Kariya has wind powers now, I guess?
Yeah.
Yep. I guess that's the thing.
He never showed any powers ever before, so I guess.
And Byakuya's like, that must be your doll. And I'm like, I thought he fucking fused with his doll.
Yeah. I thought that too, and I was losing my mind. I'm like, clearly, we have been doing this show in the Bount arc for too goddamn long because I thought that's what happened.
Well, I guess the wind powers are just coming from him, but it's still his doll power.
Yeah, he fused with his doll, so he now has wind manipulation.
Sure, whatever.
It could be anything.
Byakuya quite literally says, none of this shit matters. I just have to kill you. It literally doesn't matter what powers you have or what you do. I'm just going to kill you. They have one of those money-saving anime fights where they're just teleporting around and we're seeing like effects clashing on each other.
Yes.
Kariya gives like a weird speech about how he's worth fighting, and I feel like he's becoming more younger Toguro-esque.
Yes.
I feel like his eyebrows grow with each scene.
And Kariya's like, I'm going to kill Byakuya Kuchiki, the strongest captain, to demoralize everyone. We get a flashback to Byakuya nuking Yoshi, and Kariya says like he was doing it like because he was really pissed when he was doing it. I'm like, man, he just seemed ambivalent, like you were stepping on an insect. It didn't really seem like he was worked up by this Lady Bount. It seems like he was just like, die, and snapped his fingers.
Well,
Yeah.
no, Jin Kariya sees straight through, as I put him in my notes, BK's thin veneer of like calm, placid temperament. You know, obviously BK's been put on full tilt and he's coping and seething.
Yes, surely.
Yeah.
He surely isn't just ambivalent by this person who is beneath him.
Yep.
Yep.
Byakuya is like Senbonzakura and just hits him with the pedals. But Kariya has wind powers, uses his wind powers to make like a shield against it. Did they give him wind powers just because they couldn't think up any way for him not to be instantly killed by Byakuya?
100%,
Yes.
because this is
Yeah.
the important matchup.
They're
Like,
like-
this is
yeah.
important to show the scale of like, oh, well, but Byakuya is just as strong as Ichigo. Like, oh my God, if Jin can, oh no, what's going to happen? And I'm like, yeah, Ichigo doesn't use pedals.
Yeah, he's ostensibly Byakuya is the boss of the last arc.
Yes.
So they needed something, so they're just going to find a direct counter. They're like, I can blow it all away, so it makes me cool.
And
I guess I can make shields.
And here I thought the fusion of me and Bob, Dab, was the boss of the last arc.
He's the shadow
Kariya starts-
boss.
He's like
yeah. Kuma.
he's the bonus boss.
Yeah, he's the fighting game boss where you have to get all the way to the end without losing one round.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
anti-Pepsi Man.
Yeah. Kariya is summoning tornadoes and making wind barriers and shit everywhere. We cut to unfinished storyboards and he blasts Byakuya into there. With
yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah, the fight already looks pretty bad. Then it does that.
Yeah, Jin just goes, die. And then it cuts to storyboards. And it's like, these aren't even good looking
and
storyboards.
he's-
I was like,
And-
what's
and-
happening?
Byakuya's like stuck in the tornado prison up in the sky, and Kariya like is gonna walk away like he's obviously dead. And then Byakuya's like, no, I'm not dead, and he just blows it away with a Hado and starts shooting Hados at Kariya.
It starts pissing out Hados left and right, yeah.
But only the ones we saw in the previous arc. They can't come up with new ones.
Clearly, those are the optimal Hados.
Yes.
Kariya explains how Senbonzakura works again, so he can explain to the audience how his powers counter it.
Yeah.
And then they cut each other
Yeah.
and start talking shit and like cutting each other a bunch more.
Yeah, and there was a weird part here. Jin Kariya, in the middle of explaining Senbonzakura, just goes, it's all simple math. You see, a normal Soul Society captain has a 50% chance of being. And I'm like, I cannot believe this dude opened with, it's all simple math. I'm losing.
His point seems to be, well, you only have a limited amount of those petals because it's just your sword split up into tiny little shards, but I have an endless amount of air to use for the wind, so it's simply a matter of numbers. Ichigo comes in and interrupts and just explodes. They form like the fight tornado.
Yes.
They do.
Where like the wind and the petals form a huge fucking twister, and Ichigo's like, I don't give a shit about this. It just blows it all away with Getsuga Tensho.
Yeah.
Very
And
rude.
then
Yeah.
Ichigo's a
actually.
little
Like, I was like, what the fuck, dude? You're blowing them up on their spot.
Ichigo's a little bit smug about Byakuya getting cut. He's like, huh, I guess you should have teamed up with me anyway, idiot.
I'm like, Ichigo, you've lost to this dude twice.
No.
We cut back. Yeah. Ichigo's like, no, that didn't count. I was trapped in the weird phase of the arc where they made me forget how to use Bankai for 27 episodes.
The first fight, you got punched once and decided to cry for an entire episode.
Yeah, it'd be really good if all these fights literally opened with Ichigo's pants falling down every time he fights Jin. Just like one moment. I don't know why this is happening all of a sudden.
We cut back to Ganju and co. They're like, Ganju's like gloating over the beaten up thugs. And everybody's like, why are you gloating? The boar beat them up. And then Ishida's like, basically goes, this is cringe. I have to go. And then just leaves.
Which honestly, good on you, man.
I'm glad he's moving up in the world. He's above cringe now.
Especially after everything he did so far.
Yeah, this arc was him living in cringe.
He's like, I gotta get out of here.
Ganju gets some info about the gambling house, and he starts talking about how they got to go talk to the bull of Kusajishi? Kusajishi?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
the bull of Kusajishi, who's like the big tough guy in the new district that they've never mentioned before until this arc that the Bounts are taking over.
I'm sure he'll
we
stick
cut to-
around.
Yeah, I'm sure. We cut to Ichinose and Koga, and they're like raising a rebellion against Soul Society, and which would be a cool idea because Soul Society sucks, but it's in this arc.
Yeah,
Right.
I was like, they really tapped into a cool idea that anyone who watched Bleach and had a functioning brain might think to write something about. But unfortunately, they literally have a line in here where Koga's like, I've lived an unfair life in the living world. And I'm like, as an immortal. As an immortal,
I was
you've
saying,
been
I was
really-
saying, Koga. Like I wrote, Koga goes on his own verified Twitter user rant.
Yes.
And it's like,
Yeah.
you were all oppressed. You were all oppressed like us Bounts. But please be aware, we Bounts were oppressed more.
Yeah, definitely more.
You were all oppressed just like us when we couldn't check out with 3 coupons for 1 item.
Everyone in this new district is functionally brain dead, so they're like, yeah, we're gonna go fight Soul Society. And the leader who Jack the Ripper
Yes.
is like you gotta give us something to prove that you're serious so we trust you. So Koga's like, Ichinose, cut my arm a little bit because you can't cut it off. This is a cartoon for children. So he cuts it a little bit and heals it immediately by absorbing Reishi, and everybody's like, yeah, they're immortal. We can't lose.
Yeah.
We cut back to Kariya and Byakuya and Ichigo, and Byakuya's like, fucking leave. You're cringe, Ichigo. I don't want you here in my cool battle. And while he's doing that, Kariya's like inhaling all the spirit gas and heals again.
Yes, he's just like, oh, it's good soup. Good soup.
Sucking up the copium, right?
Ichigo ignores him and uses Bankai and attacks Kariya. Byakuya also uses his Bankai and attacks both of them because he's now just like kind of a pissy baby. It's like fucking cringe. Ichigo getting in the way of my fight. I'll kill. It's like Vegeta being like, I'm going to attack you both because I'm mad.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the end of the episode. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers, Golden.
Golden.
Orihime asks about Ganju's games. They have nicknames. I don't remember them. I didn't write them down because none of them were funny. The joke is that he's bad at giving names, but their names were fine. They were just stuff like Hawk and
Yeah.
Blade, and
Yeah, I don't know.
it wasn't even on the level of the dodgeball scene where it's like, this is my team: Blade, Laser, Blazer. Like, it wasn't even on that level.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird.
Perfect film.
Episode 96. Ichigo and Byakuya are fighting Kariya.
We got to talk about something real quick. Otherwise,
Sure.
we're not going to cover it. They start showing people I don't know in the intro.
Yeah.
Oh, the first
do.
Oh yeah,
the first
they've been
episode.
doing that. There's like one specific part of this opening where they show a character who hasn't appeared yet.
Yeah, well, see, in 95, they didn't do that. In
Yeah.
95,
Yes, they did.
Wasn't it Keigo and some other guy? I thought I had already seen the other guy.
It was 94 where they did somebody you
Yeah,
had.
94, they showed someone I didn't know, and I was like,
Yeah,
huh?
it seemed weird because a couple of Bount episodes ago of the podcast, they showed a character that you had never seen before. It's like, that's weird. This last set, what was it? 3 out of the 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's out of the 4 episodes that still use this intro in this set, 3 of them use characters you.
yeah, it's nuts.
At this point, you just left after that first one. You're like, I can't roll the dice.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to watch the intro. I'm not going to let them, like, piss this out in the most unappealing way possible.
Yeah, it's like, no.
I'm good. I don't need the best dressed category that bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and there's not much going on there either. So it was like, what are you doing? They were like, we've run out.
I look forward to seeing them in the show.
Yes, all that did was make me edge.
So as Phil was saying, they're fighting in the crater now, and Phil, you may now unspoil the image. That is a shot of Ichigo talking inside of the crater.
Yeah.
The hilarious thing, if you look at the 2 most recent images I posted in here, both of them are Ichigo drawn wrong with the terrible blue rock background.
Yes.
It's separated by multiple episodes. And dimensions, I
You
believe.
can't say they're not consistent.
He's like turning into like Dorito face Bad Touch Senpai a lot in these sets of episodes. Like his chin is going crazy sometimes.
Yeah, it's really out there. Yeah.
Leland's watching them do like the big beam clash, and when there's a big explosion, and Byakuya doesn't give a shit about Ichigo at all, and Ichigo keeps clashing with Kari, and Byakuya's like, I'm just gonna try and kill you both with my pedals as you're doing that.
Yep.
Kariya knocks Ichigo away with really limp-looking punches, but apparently it like broke all of his bones. And Ichigo's like crawls out of a crater bleeding all over.
Yeah.
Kariya says he can predict Ichigo's movements due to years of fighting experience against fucking who?
Yeah, he's been alive forever, but really,
that's what an old person should say. Is that they fought a lot, so they'll win.
What super chads has he been fighting against?
No one.
maybe the other Bounts, maybe they do like a training. I don't know.
Maybe he was able to beat Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I don't know.
But after he's done gloating, he like explodes with cuts in a couple places, and Byakuya says, "Well, you have that shield, but I guess all I have to do is hit you really hard, and it'll go through your shield."
If my attack is high enough.
It's always funny when the solution in Bleach is, what if I just hit harder?
Dude, it's just like the Return of Cooler when they're like, the Cooler's robots can be defeated if we focus everything in one punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kari's like, it doesn't matter because I'm immortal. And then, as if reading my mind, Byakuya says, okay, let's stress test this shit.
I really love Byakuya.
And just starts pummeling him with the Sakura pedals. Then somebody nukes the entire field like from above with a big beam. I really thought it was Ishida, like goddamn, he was right about this thing powering him up.
Yeah, because I'm like, what the fuck?
So I was sitting here, and seconds before this happens, I'm like, maybe the strategy is they feed enough reishi into Gene where he explodes. They need to use a reishi nuke. And then this appears, and I'm like, holy shit, what? I expected this 15 episodes from now.
This is a crazy kill streak bonus.
Right?
Someone emerges from the rubble, and they look exactly like Yoshino, the mommy Bount.
Yashino, yeah.
Yeah, Yashino. That's Rantau.
Yes.
This is where I addressed the poor animation, where like a lot of parts of this episode, and the last one also, feel like the joke in Butt Lord GT where the Gohan analog hits Frieza and is like, oh no, now we're being animated by the second string fight team. Yes. And they're all fucked up looking and off model.
It literally is that bad this episode. I only have 7 notes so far, and 2 of them are oh my god, this episode's hideous.
Yes.
She's like, yeah, I'm Rantau, and Kariya starts seething at her immediately.
Yeah.
And Rantau is like really condescending and basically calls him a cock.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
This is the bunch of why did it take you so long to get
I
here?
knew you would come one day, but I didn't expect it to be a mind-numbingly long time. I was like, this rules.
I'm like, I really need this dude to get a roast.
Ichigo jumps to protect her from Kariya and is like, I won't let you kill her. We got to ask her questions for more exposition. And then Kariya like puts on his Bane mask. It's like, when Soul Society is in ashes, I give you permission to die.
Yeah, that's literally, audience, you don't understand. That is so close to what he said.
That is basically the exact. He's like, why would I kill her?
I want her to see us achieve our goals.
Yes.
Time to go mobile.
And then I'm like, I'm starting to like him more.
And they're like, oh, well, you're going to die right here anyway, Kariya. But then Koga shows up and starts shooting bowling balls everywhere.
Yep.
The spider doll has fucking lines.
She sure did. I don't remember
she
any
just
of them.
Screeches out, I'm horny, and then...
It's like I love boys. That's all she does every time she comes out.
Fire.
Yeah, she's like laying down cover fire as Kari and Koga fucking leave. Byakuya also leaves?
Yes, for seemingly no reason.
Byakuya's like, well, I can't sense them and they're out of my sight, so there's no hope here, bro. I'm leaving.
He doesn't even want to find out about Rintao. He's just like, whatever, I'm gone.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's just like, I see Bount, I kill Bount. I don't need any more information. I'm acknowledging the 15-second long scene where they show Ichinose and nothing happens. I'm just acknowledging that scene exists.
Yeah, that did happen.
I didn't even write it down.
Thank you.
I was so exhausted. I did an 11-hour stream before we watched these episodes, and still that stuck in.
Ashita shows up and immediately becomes simp mode again on seeing Rantau. He's like blushes. It's like, it's you?
Oh.
And then Rantau's like, let's go to my house so I can heal Ichigo. So
Well,
they go to her house and
There's a really important line here that drove me insane.
Okay.
So the bad guys escape. Ichigo looks at Ryuden and Ryuden goes, I can't sense which way they went because the explosions.
Oh, see, I completely skipped past the... I completely skipped past... Like, it's so inconsistent on what stops what from sensing what, when, and how.
Yes!
It's like
which gets even worse later in these sets of episodes.
It's like every like hack in real life that's like, I'm a real psychic. Unfortunately, it's Wednesday right now, and the weather is cloudy, and my leg hurts, so I can't do it right now.
20% of the time I can sense them 100% of the time.
Man, yeah, I think that they were really upset that they had power sensing abilities in Bleach at all. These writers just mad.
It's so fucking rough.
Rantau heals Ichigo with a fucking defibrillator, which is really funny.
Yeah, I love that.
That was good.
Because he's just like, hold still, and she shocks the shit out of him. And he's like, oh, it's actually healed.
He's like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, it was like a 1-2 punch revelation moment for me because it's like Rantau just lives in this exact part of the woods.
Yeah, just in a hole.
And then it immediately cuts to Ichigo getting fucking defibbed.
It's like the exact same part of the woods, which is potentially 500 yards from where the evil gang lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is some real Metropolis next to Gotham City energy.
Yeah. They re-explain the bounce being caused by an experiment to create eternal life. And they're like, the bounce wanted to come live in Soul Society because they didn't fit in the human world. And the Seirete said, no, we don't like admitting we ever did anything wrong. So the Bount tried to force their way in, I guess. And we get a really funny scene full of like werewolves and bullshit masses of garbage
and
fighting filler Quincy's.
Yeah.
I love Swordhead.
But it's like, what are these creatures even? What?
It's like, look at all these monstrosities and Kariya with a tragic haircut.
Yeah, it's great.
Kariya back with his long hair again.
He's almost like Witcher core.
Yeah.
He just needs the ponytail to go full.
And they're like, this killed all the Bounts. And I'm like, wait, I thought Soul Society purged them in their stupid fucking underground city.
We forgot
Are you changing it again?
No, that was a complete other arc feel, so we can do whatever we want now.
God.
This is rough.
Yeah, no, it's real bad.
Please don't have a memory. Is what they're begging you.
Not even 2 episodes.
No, not at all.
Ashita's like, so Rantau, where the fuck have you been during all of this? And then she just starts stripping.
Yeah.
And shows her back, which has like a seal carved into it to take away her powers. Apparently she was like, the government should admit fault, so she got tortured and exiled, which frankly does make sense, I guess.
Yeah, this is where the show got really realistic, where they're like, we will not admit fault ever. We will instead punish people who suggest it.
I love the 1-2 punch of Ishida going, as a scientist, didn't you feel any responsibility? And then she starts stripping.
Rantau's like, Ishida, can you explain the plot once again? And Ichigo's like, no, we're not doing that. Not fucking again. No, I'm sorry.
Maybe next set of episodes.
Then she looks at like Ishida's bracelet and is like, that might kill you, but luckily we know it won't because this is filler.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then Rantau's like, sorry guys, I have anime wasting disease. I have to go sleep for 16 hours, and just immediately falls onto her bed and passes out, like me after we record a Cursed Content Club.
Yep. I really like them going, well, she's really old, so this makes sense, actually.
It's always felt really unclear how aging works in Soul Society at all, and this certainly does not help.
Yeah. Where she's like, you see, I look like this because I've gotten a lot of work done.
Look, it's the way she can not age is sleeping 12 hours a day, okay? That's how it works.
Yeah.
Is that how you do it, Bob?
We cut to Koga and Kariya and Ichinose saying Kariya's healed. And he just seems insane because he's getting like pissed at Koga asking him incredibly normal questions. It feels like they're trying to set up like a Koga, but like getting betrayed or betraying him.
Oh yeah,
but it's so stupid. It's just like Kariya being hostile for no reason.
It really feels like that they're specifically targeting that because I'm like, I guess because he's the only one that seems approaching reasonable, maybe. But it's really ham-fisted foreshadowing if it's going for that.
He like looks out over all the peasantry and is like, it's almost time. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reaper's Golden.
Golden.
Shuhei, 69man.
Mm-hmm.
He's giving Komamura the souvenir he got in the human world. It's a dog brush. He likes it.
This is great.
He may help him pick it out.
This might be my favorite thing in the entire arc.
It's real good.
Fucking loved it.
Episode 97.
Golden.
No. Hitsugeya gets a report that the men of the Kusajishi district are chopping down trees and they might be being controlled by the Bount. And possibly the most baffling thing in this entire arc so far is he's like, we gotta go talk to Renji to find out everything he knows. And I'm like, what?
Blacked out.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yes.
He's jobbed the most to the Bounce, so he'll know.
Are we just checking that his education stuck? That he could still do math? Like, what do you mean?
Are you checking in to make sure he's progressing towards his GED? Like,
The answer is no.
we cut back to the Ganju crew, and man, Ganju and Chad and Orihime sure have been in the woods for 3 episodes.
Yep. It was really funny. Last episode, at the end of that chick passing out, they go, should we go back to Kukaku? And Ichigo basically tells Ririn, nah, we're stuck in this plot bucket. This is the plot bucket these guys have been stuck in.
They're talking to the bull of Kusajishi, who is just some dude. It's like, the Bount are going to lead a rebellion. They must have a bunch of plans. And Ganju's like being really familiar with this guy. Like, he's basically making out with him.
Yes.
And he's like, you got to go get all your guys because I have a brilliant plan. Kuroda tries to talk and Ganju immediately just screams at him and cuts him off, which I thought was quite enjoyable. The bull of Kusajishi's actual name is Daiji. And then he's like, I call myself that because it's cool. And everybody's like, oh God, it's just Ganju again.
I don't know. That endeared me to him a little bit. I'm like, yeah, that is cool.
Kyoraku and Ukitake watch them repair the damage from the Bount bomb.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mayuri shows up to talk about how the Bounts are causing chaos by blowing up something that is already fixed. Mayuri?
I like this because there's a weird line about why would they blow something up that's so easy to fix? And it's like, what?
Yeah.
This is insane.
They're like, why would they build something? Why would they blow up something they know we can repair? And he's like, haha, as a distraction. And they goes, a distraction? And he makes this weird biting his lip face where it's like, did you just nut? And then there's an awkward silence, and they're like, dude. And he goes, I have to go home.
yeah, we were losing it. That's why my note says Kuratsuchi post nut clarity.
He figures something out and doesn't tell them. He's like, oh, gotta go. And basically sprints away.
He starts walking weird.
Nemo, help me clean up.
We cut back to Ichigo and he's sleeping and he wakes up because he had a nightmare about eggs. And I think it's a Yu Yu Hakusho reference.
I
like
don't
to the spirit egg?
Maybe?
It's so weird and meaningless that it's like, this must be something. But Ichigo, Leland, Ishida, and Rantau eat hot pot. Ishida finally just looks at Rantau and is like, why the fuck did that lady look like you? With the implication of, can I hit mommy? Rantau says they made artificial souls for the copies of their own souls from the experiment, and Yoshino must have been her copy. The fake souls were sucked into the cycle of rebirth, and because they were copies of Soul Reaper souls, the Bount have much greater reishi powers than a normal human, which is why they can have dolls. And Leland's like, they were basically my ancestors. They're like proto mod souls. And thankfully, the show goes, we've been terrible for way too long. Kenpachi's going to do something now.
Oh yeah.
Appreciated.
Kenpachi's, we just cut to Kenpachi being like, I'm going out. Something will die.
I'm getting really fucking bored. And I'm like, hey, audience surrogate right here.
Yeah.
Kariya, we cut to Kariya giving another one of those fucking Twitter verified user speeches to the peasants who are building like siege engines.
See, it's funny, in this scene, I didn't know what it is. So my notes go, Kariya congratulates the peasants who have the courage to make a houseboat for him.
See, I was also like, yeah, that's got to be like a battering ram or something, which is funny.
I just see giant structures of wood, and I'm like, is this a boat?
Yeah, you were making comparisons to the orcs from Lord of the Rings for some reason.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was gonna be.
Actually, the comparison was when they were destroying the forest, and everyone's talking about how they're ruining the forest. I'm like, okay, they're playing orcs right now, as in Warcraft.
Okay.
They're just tearing up the
much.
entire forest.
Work. And all the peasants are like, we're stupid, yeah. We cut back to Mayuri, who confirms that Ichinose was the one sneaking around invisible, and they spend a long time explaining Ichinose's powers, presumably because they've been like, it's been 20 fucking episodes since he's done anything, and he's about to fight Kenpachi, so we have to fucking explain it.
Yes.
So then we get a really great part where Mayuri realizes he was rused and manipulated and just starts coping and seething and shitting and pissing and crying.
Yes, he literally does. That's the whole scene, and it's very funny.
It's
It's just him shaking with fury, clenching his hands. He's like, they tricked me?
Wait a second, they left this sticky note that brought up the bracelet document so I could hand that to the Quincy. God damn it, I'm stupid!
This entire time I thought I was smart and crafty for setting this up, but in fact, I'm a dumb asshole.
Yeah, no, he's fucking stupid.
That's insane, because the earlier dialogue made me think that he knew they were trying to manipulate him and was just going with it because it's funny. But no, this confirms he's just an idiot.
Because I thought it was like, okay, they're trying to manipulate me, but now I'm going to use this bracelet thing, and then that's going to get me the leg up. And, oh no, I'm super dumb.
Yeah. We cut to Hitsugaya with Renji. They completely skipped the conversation about learning what Renji knows, thank fucking God.
Yes.
Yeah, thank Christ.
Then they make up a reason for Renji to be benched for the rest of this arc.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you can't release your sword because you used Bankai in the human world.
Because they kept saying that lieutenants and captains get like limited because of like a thing in the human world. So their translation to that is, you just can't do anything anymore now.
That this limitation did not apply to Ichigo, who used his Bankai to fight Kari at the end, and it's fine.
Yeah, this definitely will not apply to future arcs
At all.
They're like, hey, Kuba, we wrote this. They're like, you sure did.
Ashita and Ichigo are like, we're gonna leave. We're gonna go Rantau. We're gonna go to Kusajishi and try to stop them. Then Rantau says. Then Rantau's like, Ashita, your bracelet is a nuke and could blow up everything within 20 miles.
Probably should have mentioned that first.
Yeah.
I mean, that sure is the thing that Kuretsuchi would give someone. It's like, hey, have this.
It's okay. He gave it to them in the human world.
I guess that's true. We cut to the Bount, and Koga's like giving a report. Ichinose is like, I sense Soul Reapers are coming. Can I stay here and fight them, boss? And Kari's like, I don't give a shit about anything happening despite being the main antagonist. So sure.
Yeah.
So Hitsugaya, Renji, and Rangiku are beating up generic thugs. They pronounce century wrong. They say century.
Missed that.
Hitsugaya runs into Ichinose. They clash for 1 second, and then every single character shows up. Ichigo, Ishida, Renji, Rangiku, Chad, and Orihime.
It's amazing how in this filler arc, everyone knows the thing that's going to happen, so sometimes they can show up and sometimes they just get lost in the woods for 3 episodes.
Yeah, flip a coin.
They talk about how the old man Bount used his powers to spirit away all the guys in the siege engines and are about to attack Sarate, and Ichinose gloats about how they totally can't stop it. We get cuts of the poor fucking gate guards shown squaring off the Bounts. They don't even get to fight. They're defeated by jump cuts.
Yes.
Yes. Which I don't want to see him get fucked up by these guys, in grave detail.
And old man Brent Bount did indeed bring that.
I do think old man Bount using his Bower or whatever it's called, the whale thing to transport people to all of them really fast is kind of like a good use of his power.
Except it also feels just like that's a shortcut. Like, well, this doesn't make any sense. So I guess he can do that now. So sure, he did it.
Something I want to note real quick before we move to Golden. Everyone shows up. They're playing goofy music, and it's played for gags at this point.
Yeah. Bad.
Okay. With that said, we can move forward.
Yes.
Rangiku is giving us Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers
Golden.
Rangiku is giving like the Shinigami Women's Club souvenirs. She gives Nanao, Kyoraku's lieutenant, a bathing suit, and she's scandalized. And then it turns out that Kyoraku asked Rangiku to give her a bathing suit.
And also Top Shelf broke it by trying it out herself.
Yes. Episode 98. There's a new opening. I'm bringing this up because I'm pretty sure most of it is footage from the first Bleach movie.
Most of it is really old footage. I actually didn't look at it and realize what it was from, so maybe you're right.
I'll need to look at it again and see, because I don't remember.
Because a lot of it seems like, because this is a thing that shonen animes would do when they were getting a movie, like for a couple episodes or 10 episodes or whatever. They'd cut in parts of the movie into the opening.
Yeah,
I need to watch it again
and
now.
I'm pretty sure what that is. That's what it is here.
Yeah, I don't think this reminds me. I don't think they do it for this first movie, but eventually, when Bleach gets a new movie, they're like, "Here's an episode that is literally a prologue to the movie."
Yeah, so that became like a trend later, years later,
where they're like, "Okay,
for everything.
Here's a filler episode that's just set up."
That was always a trip.
Yeah,
watching it as it released, because that I wouldn't be able to see the movie until months later when it got a physical release.
Yeah, it was
in Japan.
It was really weird.
Yeah. We get 2 minutes of recap.
Yeah.
Yep.
They redo that scene where they meet up, but now it has serious music.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it sure does.
You're watching people shit their pants and stumble into frame, and a boar drift out of control, and all this other shit as it's just like
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I thought this was a funny scene.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. And this time it's real.
Hitsugai is like, everybody go help Sarete and I'll fight Ichinose myself. And Ichinose's like, well, none of you are going to leave. And he's like, flash and burst, Niji Gasumi, and blinds all of them.
Pocket sand.
Hitsugai moves forward and gets trapped in the illusion. Everybody's trapped in the illusion. And like almost hitting each other. They can't sense his energy because he's somehow using the fucking plot rock from the cave.
Yes.
Yep.
How insane.
It works now because the plot says it has to work.
I've coated myself in rocks all over me.
But he like appears and he's gonna attack Chad. And then Kenpachi's just there and blocks it and blows away the whole illusion. Like, none of this shit works on me. Fuck you.
I guarantee you Kenpachi was just swinging at whatever was in front of him.
Yes.
He just lucked out.
Yes.
Ichinose basically like immediately has to kneel in the presence of Kenpachi's chat aura. And Ashita literally says that. Ashita literally is like, Kenpachi's spiritual pressure is so massive it just blew away his Shikai.
It's really good.
I wish he would take care of Kariya.
Orihime and Yatsuru say hi, and Yatsuru calls Orihime Jiggles.
Yeah. I was like, God, she's so good. Mm-hmm. What a good character.
Kenpachi looks at Ichinose and he's basically like, oh, hey, cuck. I'm not actually here to fight you. If you want me to fight you, I will, but you're completely free to go try and help Kariya. And Ichinose starts seething. He's like,
Yes.
he's like, I know I should follow Kariya's orders, but I gotta fight Kenpachi. And Yatsuru's almost literally like, okay, guys, Ichinose's dealt with. You guys can leave. This will be handled. You guys can take the night off. They start fighting. Ichinose is just being humiliated. He can't do shit.
Yeah.
It is pretty dire.
Kenpachi almost literally says, oh, you can make yourself invisible? That's cool. I fought somebody last arc who shut off all of my senses. and I was still owning them.
God, I forgot he totally owned Toadson.
Yeah,
in
no,
that.
this shit is just their version of that. They're like, we could do that again,
See, it
I
makes
guess.
sense. That one, you were in darkness. Now you're in light.
Completely different. It tricked you.
Very smart, actually.
This here are pedals and the counter wind.
Ichinose makes a really bright light and does that thing he did against Ichigo, where he like hits him with a million like blade beams. Kenpachi isn't even hurt. He's like, did you do something, man? I didn't even notice. And Ichinose's like, what the fuck do you mean his spiritual pressure is so huge my attacks can't get through it? Ichinose gets so mad that he's being humiliated that he powers up again. And now he's saying flash brightly instead of flash and burst.
Yes.
It's better, I guess.
Because this is a Saigyoku Nijigasumi.
And I'm like, is this a Bankai without saying Bankai?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just make this his Bankai.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it has a different name and it's doing a different thing this time. So
I know.
I was like,
I don't know.
I know.
They didn't want to give him a Bankai for whatever reason.
For whatever reason.
There's a quota. They've already hit the quota for Bankais this season. I'm sorry.
I don't think they can. Maybe they feel like they're not allowed to invent a Bankai.
Maybe.
Because that would check out. Because they haven't done that, right?
Yeah, they haven't.
Not yet. This is the first, but this is like the first original Soul Reaper character they've come up with anyway.
Exactly.
Not
So
counting Grand Tao.
maybe this is a Force user.
You know,
a Jedi.
Yeah, this kind of makes sense in the fact that they will never use any other Hado except for Sokakusui and Byakuya. Yes. They will only do those.
Ichinose lightly cuts him and then basically starts like crying and reciting Kariya's YouTube essays that he memorized to Kenpachi.
What radicalized me?
Then Ichinose's like, this is my actual power. I left sparkles all over and they're going to do Hellzone grenade on you and make a big dome.
And then it'll shrink and that will kill you?
He implies that they're going to shrink and then be like, they're going to like concentrate all the light into a giant laser and like orbital nuke him. And Yachiro's just sitting there being like, this doesn't matter, Like
he's alive.
He's not going to die from this. You're doing nothing. And Ichinose is like coping at that. Be like, no, he's totally dead. There's no way anybody could survive
I'm
this.
just going to walk a little bit faster now so he doesn't stand up and beat my ass.
It's not a jog, it's just a fast walk.
Yeah, it's like when DBZ characters hit him with 100 little beams. It's like, that certainly did it.
It always does it, doesn't it?
Anyway, don't you tell anyone I ran away. I'm clearly walking.
As you can see, I'm not athletic right now.
Kenpachi's like inside the space where they don't have to color anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, it's slightly hard to move. I guess I should try for 1 second. And then pulls his eye patch off and just instantly dispels the attack. He's not even damaged.
And by the time the smoke clears, it's already back on. He's like, I needed this for 10 frames.
Yeah.
Kenpachi basically starts owning Ichinose with facts and logic.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
really good.
And it's like, you don't actually believe anything. You're really just a fucking little bitch who just wants. He literally says there's a difference between being a sheep and being loyal to someone, and Ichinose has no answer and starts like flailing at him.
Yeah, it's true.
And Kenpachi's like, you're full of shit. The only reason I'm even fighting you is because that's the one thing you decided to do on your own, cock. And Ichinose like has the realization that Kenpachi is right and that he is a cuck and he needs to power up and have a final clash with Kenpachi.
And as he's saying this, and he thinks about how he may not be of much use to Jin Kariya in the end and apologizes internally, it starts playing the Final Fantasy IV love theme again.
It does, yes.
It does, yeah.
You were so happy. You're like, they brought it back.
I'm like, this is funny as hell because it could be seen as the theme of cuck in that game too.
Honestly, yes.
Jesus.
We get like another whale moment where the animation gets good as they're powering up.
Yes.
And then they clash. And unsurprisingly, Kenpachi wins effortlessly, shatters his sword, and slashes him, and he falls down.
And he goes down in a way where I'm like, this is, you're using camera angles to say this guy got it the worst of anyone in a long time.
Yeah, he
Yeah, it's
might
like
just
he's
be
dead. Like, it's
Yeah.
over.
Thank God.
Where they're like, we have to do it like this, or else we'll get a censor.
And like, and Yachiru's like, okay, I guess it's done. Like,
Alright.
she implies he's dead real hard.
Yeah.
And then they just leave his corpse there for the fucking buzzards.
Which honestly, cool.
Great.
Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers.
Golden.
Heart gold.
Hanataro's back and is like, here's my plan to build a convenience store in Soul Society.
Yes. Rete 7-Eleven, baby.
Blonde sunglasses guy is like getting really mad and he's like, Captain, tell him that it's fucking stupid. And she's like, make sure to stock cosmetics. And that's the joke.
And I'm like, good. I hope
like-
they continue this through more Goldens.
I'm like, thank you so much. This is the best golden. You put it at the end. I strongly approve of this arc of Hinataro starting a convenience store.
We got some good Goldens
Yeah, I
this
know.
time.
Honestly, I love the dog brush one to death.
Right?
No, that's excellent. Especially when he's like, Orihime knows the best places to shop.
He's like, this just feels so good.
But as those are our episodes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Feel.
you.
Thank you so much. Let's get through all of this. We're not going to review the new intro outro yet.
Yeah.
We're going to let those set in for another episode.
I was gonna suggest that because again, I'm not sure this isn't just full of, like movie footage. So like, what are we reviewing?
the song, I guess.
I think that's always how it's looked, but still, we need like at least 5 episodes of sitting with it to be like,
Yeah, at least 2 or 3.
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we can get the next set in, then really like let it settle.
Yeah, we only got 1 episode of this. We need more.
So having been said, we are moving on to best dressed. We got some good choices this time, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone's hyped. Mm-hmm. Everyone get hyped for this.
Now, see, I'm playing at a disadvantage because I left the room during the intro at certain points because I got tired of seeing people I've never seen before. Can I go first?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
You go for it.
So there was that guy next to Keigo. He had a nice scarf.
He did.
Yeah,
I legitimately like that scarf.
God, I couldn't remember his name during the episode either.
Yeah. No idea.
the one who is like in a relationship with 10 women or something.
Oh, is that his deal?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
yeah,
Because he's the Playboy one, but he has the answer
yeah.
face.
But yeah, no, his outfit was really good. Really, really good. He was like the outstanding choice for me in this set of episodes.
KZ, what do you got?
This one's really basic, but we got 1 episode of the new opening, and it showed Hitsugai with like a sleeveless like tank top with like a big black scarf and like some stuff that's going around the wrist. And I'm like, this looks all right. This looks solid. It's one of the ones I like fully remembered off memory and not even just notes.
Yeah, the new intro has some new outfits. They're nice.
Yeah, they do the best thing that Bleach always does, which is here's Soul Reapers in modern clothing,
Right.
which is the best. Like, give me more drip.
I'll go ahead and go next. I'm not gonna say the character's name because that.
I know.
Because I feel like that's what.
That's
what
why I stayed
Dan
away from
doesn't-
all of them.
Doesn't want to say. Or Dan doesn't want to see him or anything.
That's funny as shit. What do you remember? What episode number?
I believe that was episode 96.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So the second one of those characters that shall not be named that
Yes.
showed.
What were they wearing though?
They have a really cool headpiece.
Uh-huh.
You don't get to see much of the rest of the outfit, but that headpiece is really cool. This guy's got a lot of drip.
Cool.
He does.
Best dress, Ichigo and the squiggly line filter from the old footage.
Okay, Theo, what do you got?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna argue that this counts. I'm gonna go with the filler Bount doll that has a bucket full of swords for a head.
That was my second choice.
Is that supposed to be a doll? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's a doll. That's
One-
the
I
werewolf
just thought
too
it was
is a doll.
about itself, and I was like, I'm Swordhead.
Yeah, I couldn't even figure out what it was supposed to be. 2, I thought its head was crystalline. I didn't realize those were supposed to be a bucket full of swords.
Yeah, it's really
No, it's a bucket full of swords because he shoots them. It shoots them at Quincy's in that flashback.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I thought they were teaming up with random other demons that now exist in the Bleach universe.
Right, that's what I thought too.
All the monsters in those were supposed to be dolls.
That might be the funniest scene in the entire set of episodes.
Man, I can't believe they just landslided that and took shittiest looking doll. That's not easy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Some of these are real stinkers.
I think we'd all be much more on board with the Bount and these dolls if they just had something as like the main doll is something as funnier as Swordhead.
Right? I feel like it's a cop-out that Jin Kariya doesn't even have a doll, really. Like, they weren't even able to commit to it that hard.
Yeah, they didn't want to make something really intricate or cool, and they didn't want him to look stupid.
Right.
So it's just him.
After they tried with Koga and the others, they're like, we give up. He doesn't have one.
We delayed as much as we can. We came up with nothing.
The wind.
Honestly, the only doll I like from a design and function is the fucking ball one, where I'm like, okay, it's like a thing. It's doing stuff. It's like a unique design compared to like Yashino, where it's like fire elemental.
I'm more okay with No Mommy Power's sworded fan than any others, I think. Maybe just because she had that transformation where she got the arm thing.
Okay, yeah, the shoulder mouth thing's pretty good.
I mean, I did like Sword and Fan when they were just hilarious dialogue tools.
Yes.
And I don't like any of the others.
Oh yeah, I'm not giving any of them high marks. So I'm like, I like fucking Koga's. It's a 5.5. It's a 5.5, and it reminds me of the character from Reboot.
It just reminds me of Balls 3D. That's all I ever think of when that fucker shows up.
Yeah.
That's literally written my notes for these fucking episodes.
And she's like, please fuck me.
Some horny spider from Balls 3D showed up in its hexadecimal cosplay.
I miss the old days where she stood up and opened a door.
Yeah, that was really good. All right, Dan. Scale 1 to 10. How much are you excited to watch more Bleach?
I'm going to be honest. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say 9.
Oh, wow.
I'm so excited. It feels like movement.
Right?
They took a dude out. They're executing on a plan that makes sense of attacking a thing.
Yeah, I feel like we're progressing to a place where a thing might happen between people.
All right.
We still have 4 Bounts, I think. So it's getting to the point where we're going to start getting rid of them.
Right? We might see one dead in each set. That'd be great.
Ooh.
All right, Phil. Did you bring me any trivia?
Yes, I did. Is this true or false? Kubo says that Ishida's theme, his theme song, is Idiotech by Radiohead.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I know some of these, but not this one.
All right, I'll go first. Yes. Dan?
I don't think it's cheating to look up the lyrics of Videotech by Radiohead. I'm going to say no.
All right, Casey, what do you got?
Yes, I want it so bad.
All right.
It's true.
Oh my god.
That seems like too weird and random of a pick. It has to be true.
I figured Feel to fuck with us did what I did to you during the Horizon for Zero Dawn hour of Pokemon, where I go Spindle and you go yes, and I go no, it's Spinda. I figured it would be a different Radiohead song,
Right?
Oh yeah, because I've seen those. He really did pick songs he likes and attach them to Bleach characters.
Radiohead is one of Kubo's favorite bands.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And since I don't want to keep using this, I'll give away another one. Zaraki's theme is a song from fucking Massive Attack, meaning the quirky manga cowboy did indeed discover Massive Attack.
I fucking love Kubo.
All right. Well, now we have to move on to our rating of the show, which is, of course, some quirky thing.
Yes.
It's our tightness scale. It goes from 0 to 25. Ideally, you try to get close to 25, but I don't think we'll do it. We could make a full 100 with all 4 of us, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the potential ceiling.
It
yes.
has happened once.
Yes. One time it happened. It'll definitely happen again today, right, KZ? KZ, what's your score?
KZ's going first.
Okay. Looking at it between the Goldens, between the action, the progress, and the plot, and just everything, I was really entertained by this set. I enjoyed it. I think it's the best of the filler for me personally. So I'm going to give it a 14.
Okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
checks out. You, Dan?
So you remember when we first hit this arc,
Yeah.
and it was dire.
Right.
Yeah, we had a score of 100 before then we dropped 55 points.
The double OVA got that.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we dropped way
Yeah,
lower.
You're right.
The
We went from
actual
one.
first part got a 0 from me.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this now. We dropped 82 points. My bad.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is some of the best we've seen in this entire arc, and I'm really happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
But it still feels like we're kind of trapped in the muck.
Right.
A little
And
bit.
some
yeah.
of these are hideous, and some of the reasons they have to trap characters is pretty dumb. And they literally gave a character anime wasting disease so they could pass out to trap other characters there. So
But that was funny.
I'm gonna have to put that. I'm gonna have to put this around. Let's say 13. 13. It's pretty mid, but by no means the worst we've seen.
Right.
Not even close.
It only took 2 people to beat the first set.
All right, I'll go ahead and go. Yeah, I think 13 is a good place for this. That places it for me 1 point above the double OVA, because parts of that double OVA were dire, and that's just rewatching old stuff.
Yeah.
If the double OVA was only the good part and not that recap part, it still wouldn't beat it, but it was way down.
Oh yeah, that weird old swordman.
Yes.
If the double OVA was just that ending sequence with all the cool outfits,
yeah, that'd be great.
That might be the best part of the entire series.
it was so good.
Feel, how do you feel?
I'm gonna go with 13 also because we got a Byakuya fight and a Kenpachi fight.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge bump.
And they were kind of mid because they looked really bad, but Byakuya was still written more or less as Byakuya, which is incredibly funny.
Yeah, and for a Kenpachi fight, you really don't even need to animate well. He just needs to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He stands still, and it's fine.
Kenpachi's power when he's not fighting Ichigo should just be being invincible.
Yes.
It's a juggernaut, yes.
I really appreciated how they wrote Kenpachi's stuff with Ichinose, just in general, of just like, man, you are ruining this man's life, both with words and with power.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best I could have hoped for this character arc they were shooting for this.
And total, that gives it the 53, by far the highest of all of the filler.
Yeah.
The closest is 46.
Yeah, and the reason that's as close as it is because the deep relief I felt after it didn't continue that first set of 5 for this long,
Right?
which is what I was truly terrified of. Could you imagine?
No, I really can't. I can't imagine just staying at that level.
But that was a test.
Yes.
Every 5 episodes. There are no real villains. Everyone's a test.
My plan's brilliant if it fails over and over again. I'm Gene Kariya.
No, each of those failed plans were actually
Tests.
successes.
Yes, and success. Oh God, yeah, that line he had in these set of episodes where Koga's just like, "So how did it go?" And he went, "It's great because they know our plan now." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, it's like, was that what you wanted to do? Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. That thing I told Byakuya, I was lying. I didn't want to kill him and demoralize people. I wanted to let them all know I was here.
That's why I didn't give it a 15.
I just want to be seen.
God, could you imagine they got all the way up to this point and then Kariya just died there?
Oh, that would be cold.
That would be so good.
They're like, the true final boss is crackhead Bount.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, they make it the old man like he takes over.
Yeah,
Not sure, and then it fully becomes Castlevania.
Yes.
I honestly, I'm all here for a series going completely insane and navel gazing in the middle of an arc. So if that's what happened after he died, where everyone went, why did we go along for this?
Right? It's just like, what What were you thinking?
What
Now
were
we're
we
s-
thinking?
Now we're stuck here?
This plan was ass.
I assume we cut it off there. Or with that.
Or that, yeah. Thanks for listening. Shows like Mondo Cool and Chugging Bleach are only possible thanks to our wonderful supporters over on Patreon. If you head on over to patreon.com/gbpodcasts and pledge at the $5 or above level, you not only get early access to Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool before they're released to the public, but you'll also gain access to exclusive shows like Armchair Devs Extra and Cursed Content by Committee. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by the continued support of our executive producers, such as Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Burning Pepsi Man, Adam Admar, Cooper Tank, and Virmvarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these gamers. If you want to support GigaBoots so we can continue the content crunch, then head on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots today.